Am I the asshole for telling my friend her cat's death doesn't compare to my miscarriage? ETA. Okay, I'm the I'm going to apologize to Shelley and try to look into some therapy for this grieving and parenting journey. If people could stop messaging me with their trauma dumps and wishing I'll never have more children 3n, that would be great. #ETA number 2. Y'all, I made a mistake. I'm trying to fix it and deal with my issues. Why are you getting in someone's DMs to wish them ill, that you hope they never have any children, etc.? How does that make you a better person? I've accepted that I was in the wrong and am the I haven't been arguing in the comments. Thank you to those who have sent understanding and kind messages. My partner, 30 male, and I, 38 female, have a child and have been trying for another for about a year now. We've lost 3 pregnancies all in the first trimester since then, with the most recent about 7 weeks into the pregnancy. One of my very good friends, Shelley, 33 female, is a total cat mom and refers to her cats as her babies, which I've never had a problem with until recently. She has some health issues that mean it's unlikely she will be able to have children, something she's always wanted, and the cats, along with a bunch of honorary nibblings, help fill that need. The issue came up recently because she just lost one of her cats quite suddenly. She'd had the cat since he was a kitten, almost longer than she didn't. He was 16 when he passed away, which is a good run for a cat, but I agree with her that it's never long enough. She's devastated and has really been struggling with the loss and trying to adjust to the change. She still has 2 cats, but this was her first baby that was all hers as an adult. This is where I might be the I lost my most recent pregnancy about 2 weeks before she lost her cat and of course have been devastated. Our mutual friends have been very supportive to both of us, and were to our previous losses, but I really feel like Shelley is making a bigger deal than necessary about the loss of her cat and is kind of dragging things out. She'll tear up or start crying out of nowhere, and even though she doesn't make a big deal of it and will even go out of the room for a few moments, we all still know what's going on. I asked her the other day when she was wiping her eyes while we were all talking if she had talked about what was going on with her therapist, because it seems like after almost a month she should be moving on already. She just sort of started at me for a minuet before asking what I meant by that. I told her that I knew Tiger was special to her, but he was just a cat. It wasn't like she had lost a baby, an actual human, and it felt like she was just drawing things out and should start moving on. She started to cry more forcefully, and one of our friends wrapped her arm around her and said that I was just working through my own grief too, and we all miss Tiger and know how hard this has been. I said she was right, I did miss Tiger too, but that I was still grieving my most recent miscarriage, the loss of a real baby, and I wasn't carrying on like she was. I got a bit of a dirty look from our friend who was comforting Shelley and from 1 or 2 of the others, and they got up and left to get a drink and calm down. After they left, one of my friends said I was cruel and an asshole because we know how much she loved Tiger and how important he was to her, not to mention she had him for 16.5 years and I only knew about the pregnancy for 3 weeks. They also said if I wasn't able to handle things right now, maybe we should stop trying for a little bit. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Yeah, you are the asshole. Anytime you belittle someone else's feelings by playing the Pain Olympics, you are being an asshole. If she'd been the one to try to compare it, you'd be slightly justified. But bringing up out of the blue that your pain was more valid is just an unnecessary and asshole move. There was no reason for it. None. You're entitled to your feelings, but so is she. ETA. You have to realize that she is also probably still mourning the inability to have human children, since it was something she has always wanted. Cats to her are likely the closest she will have. And she just lost one. You are the asshole. You were incredibly cruel to your so-called friend. That cat was a member of her family for 16 years and you think it should take a certain amount of time to get over his death? You should understand better than anyone that grief takes many shapes and doesn't have a timetable. It's extra insensitive for you to compare her cat to a baby when you know she can't have babies of her own and she will never know what it's like to lose a human baby. Stop playing grief Olympics and comparing your grief to everyone else's. You owe Shelley an apology, and I think you're the one who needs a therapist. This is your 3rd miscarriage in a year. She lost a lifelong companion that is in a deeply emotional sense, the child she'll never be able to have. Your miscarriage isn't a real baby, it's the potential for a real baby. 3 times. While she lost a very real long-term companion, one that she spent 16 fucking years building an extremely strong emotional bond with. YTA 1000%. Apologize as quickly and profusely as you possibly can if she'll have you. Yikes, so she likely wants to have kids but can't, is grieving the loss of a beloved pet and you threw, it's not like you lost an actual baby, at her? Please read that back and think about that. I'm so very sorry for your loss but in this instance, you are the asshole. Best wishes to you on your journey but please apologize to your friend for this. You sound like a very cold-hearted person 100% you are the asshole. You are the asshole. 16 years. She had that pet for 16 years, and you're getting all salty because you believe you hold a gold medal in the Grief Olympics? Am I the asshole for snapping at a colleague that tried to one-up my friend's death? I have a colleague, Cheryl, who is a notorious one-upper. Some stuff is just relating, sympathizing so that's not so bad. Others, she just has to have the bigger story and have all the attention. It's annoying but also relatively harmless, so I don't say anything. On Friday night, I got word that a friend of mine passed away. It was very unexpected and we still don't know the cause. He was young and healthy. Needless to say, my weekend was consumed by this and I'm devastated. Yesterday, I come into work and another colleague asks me how I'm holding up. They saw my Facebook post. Cheryl asks what's going on and I say, a good friend of mine passed on Friday. Without missing a beat, Cheryl says, did you hear about the old man that drowned this weekend at local beach? I was pissed. It wasn't something innocent like one-upping weekend plans. My very good friend died. Instead of even offering condolences, she had to find the way to make the conversation about her. I snapped and told her, okay? That's tragic but what does that have to do with what I just said? She got flustered and said, I was just making conversation. I replied, yeah, changing the subject from my friend's death. For once can you not one-up a story and let someone else talk about their own lives? My friend freaking died and I'm talking about how sad I am, and you change the subject? What is wrong with you? Cheryl got upset and walked away. Some colleagues think I was too hard on her. Others think I was justified. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She had to learn that this is shitty behavior somehow. I'm sorry for your loss. NTA. Sounds annoying frankly. On that note, I recently learned that people with ADHD can tend to use examples of similar things happening to try and relate in the conversation. I learned this because I have ADHD and had a tendency to do this, not to one-up but because it's what I instinctively did. It's good you called her out because now she can show some awareness around doing it next time. Not the asshole. Sometimes people require a hammer over the head to see how their behavior impacts others. Not the asshole. You're grieving, are in shock and her crassness was just too much. I have a duo of one-uppers in my family and the constant attention-seeking behavior is exhausting and frequently insensitive. Cheryl should have been put right years ago. Not the asshole, she is obviously an attention seeker and that was not the time for her to try and one-up you. What you did is justified because people like that need to have a reality check otherwise they will continue to do it and, it will only get worse. Not the asshole. No doubt if you told her you had been on holiday to Tenerife she would have been to Elevenerife. Am I the asshole for telling my, always late, friends an earlier time so we'd be on time? So I, 32 female, have been friends with this group of people, 30, 31, 32, F, since high school. I love them all to death but Jesus Christ on a cruise ship when we plan something, they are always consecutively late. Every time and it drives me nuts. One year they almost made us miss our flight home. And they always say they forgot the time or thought they had more and just goofed around. It has gotten to the point where I will meet them because I refuse to get caught up in the drama. Last year I left on my own accord to the airport because they were all passed out and would not wake up. They missed checkout and had to pay for an extra day. Then they barely made it to the airport in time for their flights. Apparently I'm pushy for ensuring we leave at a certain time, considering traffic, possible accidents, delays, and even looking up shortcuts in case. Throughout the years sharing a ride with them has almost made me late to work before. Lesson learned, so now I take an extra day off just in case. Our vacations themselves are fun and easygoing. So this vacation was pretty smooth up until the end. We all decided to choose a night where we would plan all of the events. Mine was Friday. It was a fairly relaxing day. I scheduled a petty for 9:30 am and I told them it was at 8:45. They showed up at 9:15 and were surprised we got in so quickly. I reserved a table for us for lunch at 1 p.m. I told them it was 12:30. They arrived at 12:52 with the same reaction. That night I had reserved us a table at this really nice dining establishment for 730, and I told them 645. They arrived at 7:10 p.m. It was a great night. Sunday, when we were going home, I said my goodbyes, checked out of my hotel room and took my separate Uber to the airport for my 2 p.m. flight home. I got home around 8 and turned on my phone to the equivalent to an assault on my group chat. Apparently they had left late again and one of them missed their flight and they were arguing about it. I told my roomie what was going on and what I did and she said that was rude of me to manipulate their time like that. She knows one of the girls and told her what I did and now all of the girls are mad at me. My Friday scheduling had absolutely nothing to do with one missing their flight. Am I the asshole? If I were you, I would say I'm too grown for this and drop each and every one of them. They seem exhausting to be around. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You planned accordingly and everyone had a great time. But good lord, what a hassle this crew is. Even your roommate. Going to be painfully honest here. These people are in their 30s. And they are still chronically late, so much so that they miss their flights at airports. Everyone knows you need to be at the airport 2 hours early in most instances because of security. And then, to attack you for tricking them to being on time? Do yourself a favor and find some new friends because these are never going to grow up. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm a punctual person and probably would have done similar. Not the asshole. I'm one of those perpetually late people. I do my best, but I have a lot going on, and I have had times in the past where friends have told me an earlier meet-up time. I'm not mad at it, that's them making allowances and showing that they know me lol. It's the exact same thing I do mentally with myself when I have something super important to do. If anything, someone missing their flight supports your cause. Also, I know fights with friends are tough, but they'll get over it, especially if you remind them how much fun your day was because you didn't miss anything. Not the asshole. They're fully grown adults who can tell what time it is, and your Friday scheduling experiment sounds like it was the only way to actually get them to show up on time. You've already tried reasoning with them. Am I the asshole for telling my sister to cover up her pads? I, 17M, have a sister, 16F, who got her period at 11, but recently I've been finding her pads in the trash bin and it's disgusting to me. I don't like the sight of blood and the fact it's menstrual products is worse. It's like me putting my shit-wiped toilet paper in the toilet to see. If I saw that I would vomit. I told my mom about this and she agreed with me. I went to talk to her about this and how she should cover them up with napkins, but she said that, it is natural. So is being naked, but everyone wears clothes. I told my friend this and she said the same thing and said that was stupid for me to ask for. Blood is triggering. I don't want to see it in the trash can, but am I the asshole? Edit. I am not looking in the trash for treasure. I will just look over and it's there. You are the asshole. Just don't look in the garbage can or get one of those ones that has a lid so Payopal can step on the lever to open it. Yes, she should be rolling it into the wrapper, but your wording was immature and rude. You're a teenage boy and need to get over this immature, OMG she's bleeding, mentality. You may have girlfriends in the future and this immaturity is not going to strengthen your relationship. Bloody pads and toilet paper with poop on it are not comparable at all for this scenario. You are the asshole. It's like me putting my shit-wiped toilet paper in the toilet to see, it's really not though. She's not leaving them there purposefully for you to see, she's disposing of her used menstrual products in an appropriate way. It's a completely natural thing, and there is no call for you to shame or embarrass her like that. Don't like it? Then don't stand around looking in the trash bin. Maybe get one of those trash cans with a lid. You're the asshole calling menstruation disgusting and triggering for you. You clearly didn't approach this the right way. If you can't talk to your sister and express your feelings without being ask your mom to talk to her. Your sister should be considerate of who she share the bathroom with. It's better to roll up pads and use the wrapper of the new pad to roll around the used. You will still see that there are used pads in the bin, but the blood and potential contact when throwing out trash should be minimal. Just be nice to each other. Not the asshole. I'm a female myself and I don't even like looking at it myself. I wrap mines in toilet paper so no one has to see it. Yes, it is natural, but come on now, no one wants to see that. And depending on the flow it can look really disgusting. And plus it stinks as well and that makes it worse. I completely understand where you're coming from.